So right now, I'm descending down into North Canyon. Today I'm taking the Bonneville Shoreline Trail from North Canyon to the top of a trail known as Wild Rose. Haven't done this in quite a while. It seems like a really long time. It's a lot of fun. I just realized I'd pause that. There we go. It's a very cross-country trail. Like, to get to where I'm at right now, I've done a fair amount of climbing, about close to 5 miles of climbing. And then once I get up onto the Bonneville Shoreline Trail, so I'm going to cross this bridge here, and then it's a short, punchy climb. And then it's really a very cross-country trail where you're undulating up and down the whole time, but pretty good. So come and join me. We'll get outside together on video, and then you can get off the computer and get outside for real yourself. Sure is pretty down in here, I tell you that. All right, we should be getting up here soon. So I probably had whined in a previous video. Okay, so if I were to go left, that goes up to Rudy's Flats, the old North Canyon way, and this is Bonneville Shoreline Trail. Anyway, I'd whined probably in a former video that I'd recently switched back to clipless pedals, and it was, my calves were getting destroyed. And on my last ride, I think I figured a few things out. One of it is, you know, I was really far forward with my foot when I was riding flats. So there's that. And, but what really made a difference were a few things. I paid attention to what I was doing with my calf muscles, and I'm like, oh, I'm really pushing with my calves when I'm pedaling up punchy stuff. I better stop doing that. That might help. And then another big factor is I slid the clip on my shoe, on my cleat, all the way to the inside of my foot, so my foot sat further out, and that made a huge difference. So if you're having similar problems, play around with the cleat position, pay attention to kind of what you're doing with your calf muscles. Woohoo! And see if that helps you. It is beautiful in here. Like I said, it's just a really nice kind of undulating trail pretty much the whole way over. This is the prettiest part. Further up you get to a lot of the southern exposure sides have a lot of loose rock, not nearly as, then they've got like what I call scrub oak trees, not these nice pines and stuff. When this trail first opened, you'd see a lot of cross-country runners on it, and I don't know if that'll be the same, because like I said, it's been a while since I've been on it, but it'd be interesting if they kind of like, I don't want to do that trail, because once you get on here, you're fairly committed because there's only so many points that you can access this trail and get to the road or back and forth. So, you know, you've got to have the time and the stamina to be able to run for a pretty good distance to think about getting on this trail and not having a really long day. I wonder if Nika's ever done a race on this thing. The trouble is, it seems from what I've seen, they try to, I mean, the trail's fairly wide here, but they try to mix some dirt road in here and there so that you've got opportunities for people to pass without, you know, people having to stop or it being kind of clumsy. But again, I mean, this is a pretty wide trail, so people might be able to pass here and there on this, but you know, being high school kids, you might risk more mishaps trying to pass each other than you would want. So maybe that's why they have it. But just in terms of a nice cruisy pedal and fly along trail, I don't know that I know of a better one that's very near me. It's a lot of fun. Just put the pedals down, fly along. And then there's a section up here, can't remember where it's at exactly, but the section of trail on Strava is called something county or something like that, best roller coaster, because it just you can pump forever. It's crazy. Based on the lack of vegetation on the trail, it does look like people are still using it though. Those corners, man, that you get a lot of loose rock right there. I hate those. It just, I'm always a little nervous my tires are gonna slip out from under me on that stuff. Okay, well, this might be where that roller coaster starts. I can't remember. Maybe not. I remember it being just flying along without pedaling for a while, so that must not be it yet. That's a pretty sweet view. That's nice. Hey, birds. All right, I might be close to that roller coaster section of the trail. If I'm reading my Garmin correctly, I should be getting to the top of this climb here soon. And then it looks like it's undulating overall downhill from there. Talking about. Just zooming along, so fun. A couple years ago, I almost hit some turkeys on this trail. There's some of that rocky stuff. Those branches. fun. Phew. And you just cruise along this thing for ages, it seems. I shouldn't say that because then I'm going to hit an uphill because of Murphy's Law. Bunch of this rock there. Still cruising. Man, I actually forgot how fun this trail is. Oh, and there's a view. That's pretty sweet. Kennecott copper mine over in the distance. So here is Summerwood, it says. That's one way up or down off of this trail. That didn't used to be there. When they first built it, it was kind of from North Canyon all the way to Wild Rose, but they built that in, and there might be one more that you can come out of here on if you don't want to do the full length. Which I'm assuming is very helpful to runners, because unless you're just a really fast cross-country runner, you know, it's a time commitment to do this many miles. So once I get to Bottom Wild Rose, I usually will ride the road back to my car. I think it's 18 or 19 miles total round trip. Oh, loose rock there. I wish I had looked at my mileage when I first started the downhill section, because this feels like I've been going for a while. But I didn't look at my starting mileage, so I can't say how far this almost constant downhill is. Man, you're putting in some miles this morning. Yeah. Have a good one. It's just me. Hey, puppy. Branch is waiting to catch your face here and there. There's a line corner. I was just thinking back to the NICA theme. One way they could give it some dirt road time is if they did there's a dirt road that goes up North Canyon. It's just heinous. It's all steep and loose and just terrible conditions on the soil. They could have them race up that thing. People would be hating that race though. They'd ride it and go, I'm not doing that again. The first 4 miles or however long it is sucks. Oh yeah, I forgot how fun this trail is. I mean, it doesn't have jumps or huge berms all over the place like Peregrine and Maple, and I do love those trails, but you know, variety also lends to some of the fun. if I remember correctly from looking at trail forks, this trail can go all the way over to like the avenues in Salt Lake City. I'm trying to remember. I was thinking, because in my mind I've kind of thought, well, that'd be kind of a fun, epic day on a mountain bike. You know, plan for plenty of goodies, and you'd need a good amount of time. But I think if I went there and back, I think it'd be close to a 50-miler. And you know, I don't remember, well, I don't know actually, because I've not been further south from Wild Rose on this trail. But if it's mostly like this, you can see how you could cover a fair amount of ground in a good amount of, you know, relative to doing a steady climb for an hour in a relatively short amount of time. Now I feel like I'm coasting uphill. How is that possible? Ooh, that's a pretty steady headwind. How about that? It's right here. That's not the worst I've ever seen that. It gets worse up here in a second, but usually I've been on that section there where it was just nasty. I don't know if somebody raked a bunch of the rock out of there or what. It used to be kind of like that stuff there. Yeah, hiking up this sucks badly. Now we are going to drop down into Wild Rose and do the Wild Rose downhill. Hello. Eyes are getting watery from all that wind, and then it got kind of cold down in here. That tends to make my eyes water for some reason. Big old rock right in the trail. That used to be more of a drop there. That thing, you know, I'm glad I remembered. It makes you want to jump, but then there's a turn right after it, so it's a tricky landing into a turn. But yeah, I think that right there is meant for walkers, and we're supposed to go this way. I don't remember, but it gives me a little bit more time on single track. I mean, it's not like the best single track ever, but single track is still single track. And then there's a punchy climb coming up where you go back up to the parking lot here. Right here. So if I continue on there, that'll take you the uphill for Wild Rose. That'll take you back around to where I was just at. Oh. That was the BST to Wild Rose. Now I'm going to take the road back. You could ride it back, but I don't know that I've got enough time this morning to do that, so take the road back to my truck. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. It made you think of trails that you ride near you, or hike, or whatever. Now you're done watching, get outside, do something fun.